The mind that is superhuman does not live in the mortal DNA, but it does live within the immortal DNA, in the harpstrings of the superhuman Christ consciousness. So what the Eternal Life album is doing for you is allowing your DNA to transform into the superhuman Christ consciousness by allowing the activation of the immortal DNA, which is the etheric fibers around the DNA that is seen by scientists. That DNA that is seen by scientists is just a very speck of what DNA is. DNA is actually the consciousness connecting to all of the spheres within the spheres within the spheres of the entire cosmos. So we are transforming our bodies from a body that only knows this one materialistic reality out into the multidimensional consciousness of knowing all that is known within the mind of God. And this is obtained by moving into these slow cosmic bands that slows down the mind until it is going into a trance. And that trance state is actually turning off the physical thinking brain. The neocortex within the upper cerebellum actually turns off and allows the mind of God to take over. One must go to this place and spend as much time in this place as possible to allow time for the DNA to connect the neuronets into the mind of God. This is why it's important to do the manifestation list right before you fall into this trance state and allow this manifestation to be carved into the memory of your soma deep within your DNA, and then stay in that state for a long period of time. And I have given techniques that are very easy to obtain this state by even using a candle to move into the light until your mind is transformed, or use the sun and move into the sun until you see the sun turn blue, or use the Mind of God meditation kit. And all of these kits and training and methodology of how to do this is all contained within the Transformation Kit, which is the combination of the Trance album, the Rebirth album, the Atomic album, the Magical Mermaid Journey to the Crystal Caves, the Ascension Earth, and then we are now working on the Mind of God album that puts that all together. So this is, you can go to the crystalmagicorchestra.com, purchase MP3s, and you can read about each one of these albums and what it does. And there are listening samples. You can go to the same website and go to the listening booth and listen to samples of all of these frequencies that are used at each state of this transformation of your DNA. And the Eternal Life album is a specialized individual album where I go through this process of connecting your consciousness, your DNA, your neuronets into this parallel and spiritual alignment where it removes this positive negative charge that keeps you locked into this dream of mortality, and opens up the DNA to be able to allow a new imprint of your new desired reality and your new multidimensional reality to unfold. If you go on our website under testimonies, you can read all of the examples of other people who have used the Eternal Life album and what the results of their experiences have been. Their experiences have included instantaneous healing, instant manifestation, and mostly being able to see things they couldn't see before. Actually moving into this multidimensional reality and seeing the things that are invisible to the old DNA. So this superior mind strums the image and sings the new image into the DNA. So you take this new mind, this new superhuman consciousness, and you start creating the images that you desire to be imprinted on your DNA. And you can make a list of what you desire to be imprinted on your DNA, such as I am in perfect health, I am a genius, I am Christ consciousness, I am the mind of God, I am multidimensional reality. You can now imprint these realities onto your DNA so that when they are reborn after you come out of your trance, that they can actually be sketched into your DNA. And then your DNA is actually the movie projector that projects the reality that you live in around yourself. This is the new reality. This is the reality that we're moving into. The more people create this new sketching into their DNA, they melt away their old DNA and they allow the new DNA to become imprinted within them, and then they talk to their inner knowing self, which is their DNA, which is the connection to their higher self neuronet into the mind of God. And this all connects into this beautiful remanifestation of a new reality that we couldn't see before, because we kept using the old DNA with the old pictures that have been printed on the old DNA for millions and millions of lifetimes. And that is called the Akashic Records. Now we are moving into a time where we can look at our Akashic Records. We can move into a room where we can see our Akashic Records, which is in this crystal cave within the brain. We can move into that by using the magical mermaid journey into the crystal caves. That is what takes you on this aquafarian journey that is deep inside of your brain and connects into the deepest liquid light portals of the earth and into the entire cosmos and into the heart of the cosmea of our cosmos. So we reconnect into this new chamber of birth, this liquid light chamber, and we wrap our DNA in it, in this etheric crystal light, crystal dust, crystal gel, and we're wrapping our DNA in this consciousness, this pre-light and pre-sound of the highest frequencies up at the 14th and 15th dimensions, where it touches the mind of God in the most outer sphere, holding all of this consciousness into its idea that it is created in this Earth's matrix. And so we go beyond all of that information that we had in our old DNA by melting away the old DNA, by going beyond the electrons of the positive and negative charges, and out into this etheric reality, this pre-light and pre-sound. That's where I go to collect these breaths of consciousness that I breathe into the Eternal Life album. And then those breaths are to be used for you to breathe into your own DNA and watch your own DNA dissolve and watch your own consciousness shift into this cosmic consciousness of a slower wave where it makes you move into a trance, and it begins to melt away your old thinking brain and starts creating a new pathway into your neuronets that begins from the mind of God and allows this brand new reality of anything your heart's desires to be programmed into your DNA. So this superior mind strums the image, sings the image. It is always being sung through the music of the spheres, singing all of these ideas that are created through these light bounds. This is actually the mind of God, God actually exhaling ideas and it being sung into this light, and then it creates a spark of a new idea, and we take that spark into this stardust with crystal light and crystal dust, crystal gel, and it's melting away the old DNA and transforming a new body, and the gelastic radiation is transforming the body into new substance. The actual chemicals and biology and atmosphere, everything of our reality is being transformed. So it erases the old DNA. The skeleton of the body of the DNA dissolves. It erases itself. And only the soma and the fabric of Christ's consciousness remains, and it imprints itself on the new DNA. So you have this old DNA, and you're bringing this crystal light, crystal gel, stardust frequencies, plasma frequencies, and you're seeing that DNA being wrapped into that new frequency, that violet string on the harp strings. And that violet string is just wrapping and molding that DNA just like into a cocoon. And then it dissolves just like a cocoon, and the old DNA dissolves away. And then when the old DNA dissolves away, that's when you plant your new image, your new desire. I am Christ consciousness. I am perfect health. I am divine love. I am eternal life. I am the divine one. I am super consciousness. That's when you print your new image of who you desire to be. You imprint your multidimensional consciousness onto your DNA. That's the moment you do it. And then the DNA, just like a cocoon, it dissolves away, it melts away, and then it flies away like a butterfly. It becomes a beautiful new butterfly to allow you to fly through the universe, and it creates a window in front of you where you can see all of these multidimensional realities that you could never see before. So what happens chemically, the DNA turns into a thick gel. It becomes a cocoon ready to give birth to a butterfly. The soma has dreamed the superhuman into existence, just like the cocoon dreams the butterfly into existence. But it is you that must dream your butterfly into existence. You must dream your superconsciousness by saying, I am superconsciousness. I am Christ consciousness. I am the God of my being. I am multidimensional consciousness. I am the creator of my reality. You must take that control. You must stop believing that, oh, I'm nobody. God does everything. I don't do anything. This is a new time. This is the time for you to create your reality within your DNA and to have that come forth as the reality that you desire. Hormones do not work in the new reality. The synaptic cleft has replaced the hormones. Hormones were the creators of the mortal man. Now we are creating the immortal man, the superman. Because the human body has been going through this transformation of having the hormones being replaced, the biological body has been going through some transformations that have been causing a lot of pain, and this is mostly happening because of removal of hormones. That is why it is good to take a lot of hormone replacement rubbing, like progesterone cream, creams that are made out of plant-like substances but are good for replacing hormones. They should be used to a much greater amounts than what the doctors say that you should use. You need to use this stuff, just rub it all over your body, because hormones do not work in the new reality. Hormones are melting away. That is why women may be having more problems than they usually do with their bodies, and men too. And these changes are causing the bones to change, the blood to change, the hormones to change.